So today we have Jasmine, the owner of Young Law Group, an incredible lawyer, mother of 5 children, and the founder of Women Decision Makers Group. It's amazing, Shane. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I love being in the Salt Room. It's just awesome to be in this atmosphere, and of you, of course, with your business and how you just have so many things going on in your life, and you include women, and it's just an honor to be.
And I was just inspired by you because you did your interview here, and I was like, that's a great idea. I should utilize the space.
Yeah, for women decision makers.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I'm so glad to have you here. Today, we'll be talking more about Shane. It's not about business. It's not about politics. It's just about women that inspire other women. So welcome. I would like to know, what did it feel like growing up like Shane? Walk us through your journey.
Well, I was the firstborn. I was born in New York. My dad went to NYU, and when he graduated, my family decided, my parents, to move to Texas. That's where he got a job. And my dad always had this entrepreneurial spirit. So I think that was kind of, a seed that was planted early on, because I saw his drive and dedication and the vision that he had. But when we moved here, I was very young. He moved for a job, and he started out as the CFO for a company, an airline, and decided to start his own airline. So he quit his job. He was the breadwinner for our family, quit his job and started his own airline, got financing, purchased airplanes, hired an attorney to make sure that things were taken care of the right way. And unfortunately, that attorney took advantage of him with the help of some other third parties, and they took the company away from my dad and ran it into bankruptcy. So as you can imagine, growing up in that type of environment and seeing my dad struggle and seeing these things happen, it really did shape me and the person that I became. And one of the things that my parents instilled in me was the value of education, and to make sure that you're able to make the best decisions for yourself and be empowered, and also to help people. And I think, seeing that and seeing how it directly impacted my family and my upbringing was what drove me to be really focused and, get good grades and, power through adversity when I faced my own challenges.
That's amazing. That's a great story. So basically, from early age, you knew you were going to be a lawyer.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it started out with my dad being like, "You've got to go to law school," and then
not many of us listened to that.
Right. But I was the typical firstborn. I wanted to please, and I'm still like that, I think, to a certain extent. But it did take me some soul searching when I was in college on what I wanted to do going forward. I studied business, so I got my undergrad degree in business administration, and I was deciding close towards my graduation, did I want to go to law school or did I want to go into business instead? And one of the things that did kind of push me over the edge at the time, my grandmother had said, I really think that this is the path that you should go, and that was law school. And I thought about it, and I took the LSAT, and I decided, okay, I'll give it a go. I really had no idea what would actually happen. I had a plan, but you can have a plan and it can totally derail and go a different direction.
Very nice. So tell us a little bit about what makes you tick, right? Why do you wake up every morning? What motivates you? What really is it that you would do regardless if you made money or not? Like, what's the passion?
Well, you mentioned them earlier, actually, is my children, my 5 daughters. And, that was not something that I anticipated, 20 something years ago. I never thought I'd have 5 children, let alone 5 daughters. But I think for whatever reason, that was what was chosen for me. And I feel blessed to be their mother. And I think that what motivates me when it comes to them is I know they're looking at me. They're watching what I do.
Especially now that they're mostly teenagers, right?
Right, yeah. My youngest is 8, so they're 8, 10, 12, and then I have twins that are going to be 20 in August. I can't believe that. I'm going to have 20-year-old children.
You don't look it, don't tell.
I feel,
Cut that from the camera.
Yeah, right. Yeah, shh. But yeah, they're really my motivation. And of course, my husband, we've been together since we were in high school, 16 years old, and we've grown up together, and we've had our ups and downs, and we continue to have our ups and downs, but he's my number one, he's my go-to. And, we've built this life together, and I want to set my children up to live their best lives and do whatever it is that will make them happy and bring joy to their lives.
That's amazing. And you are an amazing mother. I follow you on social media, and it's fun. It's like you dance with them, you fitness together, while you're running all these incredible things.
And I think it's important, especially for us as women. We have so many things to do in a day. And when you run your own business, that can be consuming. When you have a career, that can be consuming. Or if you're a stay-at-home mom, like you're constantly doing things for others. And it's hard to balance that, right? And I think that sometimes we're so hard on ourselves because we feel like, oh, well, I'm dropping the ball here. I don't have enough time to do this. So that is one of the reasons why I try to include them in things that I do, that will be good for them. Yeah, good for them and good for me too. And we have that time together. So, and then they also learn, they learn a good work ethic, and they learn how to do things because they're alongside us watching.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that. So what about a pivotal time in your life? Let's talk about, because here you are inspiring everybody. I've been to one of your events with over 100 women, and it's just incredible. They're all inspired by you. They look up to you. Tell us a pivotal time in your life where you could have broken. You could have, it could have been adversity that could make you or break you,
right? And
it made you.
Mm-hmm. Well, two points come to mind. One was when I was in college. Right. And I was getting ready to graduate. It was my last semester. So I had made the decision, okay, I'm going to go to law school. And so I just started my last semester of school at Pepperdine and found out I was pregnant. That's when I found out I was pregnant with my twins. And so my husband and I,
let alone twins.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't find out it was twins until I was almost 5 months. But, initially just finding out that I was pregnant, of course, my family was devastated. They were like, oh my gosh, you're never going to go to law school. You're never going to do, what's going to happen? I remember my mom asking me, are you even going to graduate? And I said, Mom, I have one semester, what? But it was one of those things where, oh my gosh, what do I do now? And they were due, I was due with them in the fall, which is when I planned to start law school. So I had to make a decision, and I decided, okay, I'm still going to go to law school. I just have to put it off for a year. So I deferred my enrollment. I was supposed to go to Pepperdine's law school, but we decided to come home since our family's here. And I stayed home with Kyra and Shira for a year. On their first birthday is when I started law school here at the UNLV's law school, which was such a blessing because it was a new law school at the time, all those years ago. And they offered a part-time program. So I started in the part-time program and made it work. I stayed at home with the girls during the day while Charles worked, and then I went to school at night. But then I had to switch. It wasn't working for me. So the next semester I went to school during the day. He worked graveyard, and that's how we managed to do it. Right. And of course, with the support of our family, our extended family, our parents, they were able to help us. And then I would say the second pivotal point in my life, or another pivotal point that I wanted to mention, was just 2.5 years ago when I was working for a company. I was the general counsel. So I started my legal career working for a big firm, and I stayed in private practice for about 10 years. And then I got the opportunity to go in-house as the general counsel of a company. And I learned so much during that process, that 2.5 years there, marketing, sales, of course, the legal side, but just how to run a business. And I knew that the company was going to be sold, or that things were going to happen. We weren't thinking it was going to happen until January. But in June of 2017, I got laid off.